Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
What's going on, guys? Luke 22 SV here, back with the 13th round of the Mick Schumacher career mode. We're here for the Belgian Grand Prix this weekend, one of the best races on the calendar for sure. As we head into the race, we've had a durability upgrade. I think it was an ICE upgrade, so we got a better upgrade to the internal combustion engine, which should make it last longer. But in the development race, though, we're now behind McLaren again. They've managed to bring some upgrades here, so they're looking sharp, and they're closing in on the top four. Well, not the top four, the fourth place team. And there's new regulation changes perhaps coming into next season. We've got the email from Carl, saw that, so that'll be interesting to see if what rule changes will be coming in. We'll have to be alert in the next couple of races for that. But we come on then into the qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's going to be a dry weekend as well, which is unlikely. You rarely see that in Belgium, but we're not complaining because the AI are much better in the wet than they are, well, than I am in the wet. So we're on a much level playing field with the AI in the dry as we come up to the source to start our lap, first lap. Second gear, not the best exit out of turn one, I must say. We got onto the curb, and that was a bit of a slow exit, but we come up to Eau Rouge now, and we get onto the curb, and that gets us out of shape, and we have to overcorrect. And you will never want to be in a spin in Eau Rouge. We end up in the wall, and we lose a bit of our front wing. It could have been much worse. We managed to slow it down just enough, so we didn't lose a wheel, and we managed to keep back onto our session and not having to retire. So we're not going to end up at the back of the grid, or are we? That's the question. But we are currently P20 with just 5 minutes left, and we're trying to get a lap now. That obviously cost us a bit of time. That first lap we could have got a better sighter for where we'd be on the grid, but we're currently P20, so we got to put all this effort into this lap as we get Eau Rouge just right, completely avoiding that curb this time. But we get that curb on the top of Radion. We come up now towards the next corner. DRS engine is going as fast as we can. Braking at 212 miles an hour. This is a nice. The car felt okay around here as well. Didn't really feel too understeery. Obviously, didn't feel as good as what a Ferrari or Mercedes would feel around this track. So Ferrari and Mercedes will be looking stronger here than they were in Hungary, because this is more of an engine track than it is aero and chassis, which at Red Bull looked so strong in Hungary, with Verstappen winning in the end after a front row lockout. But Vettel now going fastest, so Ferrari looking stronger around here than anyone else. But as for ourselves now, we've had a clean lap. This has been a good lap for ourselves. Wondering where we can get on the grid here. Almost running out onto the gravel there. Get a right line, and just using as much of the track as we can. We're only a couple tenths down, really. We're only a half a second down on Vettel's lap time, which is good for us, really. We're expecting to be, P7 with that. That'll be good for us. Also, we have a worn turbocharger, so we could really go faster. But I do end up changing the turbocharger before the race, I think. But coming into the last corner of the bus stop chicane, which it used to be so much better before it was modified. But DRS, what can it be for us? It's going to be P6, and we're going to be happy with that. P6 behind Ricciardo, ahead of Perez. So it looks like someone's been, Verstappen is behind us in the end. As we stay P6, he gets P7. So P6 on the grid. Again, another great qualifying from us. We seem to be really good at qualifying. Maybe have to up the AI difficulty at some point. But our teammates in 13th, so Sauber looking fairly strong. Raikkonen, who does really well in Spa in real life. So he's got pole position as we're heading on into the race for the Belgian Grand Prix. What can we do from 6th on the grid? Is it going to be another disappointing race like we've seen so many times when we qualified high up on the grid, that we just seem to get caught up in problems with other cars, or just ourselves just going backwards because we just don't have the pace? But who knows, here we see what the grid is for the Belgian Grand Prix, with Raikkonen on pole, Hamilton alongside, and it will be Vettel and Bottas on row 2 as well. We're on row 3 alongside Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo seems to be going better in his career than Verstappen, but Hulkenberg P9, Ocon P10, so Force India looking strong again, Renault looking okay, Haas, they don't look too strong, McLaren and Toro Rosso, Williams always on the back 3 rows I should say. But we head on into the race now then for the Belgian Grand Prix. What can we do from P6? Are we likely to go backwards, or are we going to stay around, or are we just going to drop off completely? but we'll find out now then as the lights go out, and it's lights out and away we go. A fairly sluggish start as Verstappen gets alongside us and gets past us into turn 1. We, however, get past Ricciardo and get alongside him, and Bottas is there for the taking as well. We're side by side with Bottas, and Bottas gets the better exit. We're behind Bottas. We've got ahead of Ricciardo, so we've just lost one position and gained another. But coming up to Eau Rouge is looking much closer, and there's plenty of opportunity for slipstream here with Bottas, Raikkonen, Vettel I should say, and Verstappen all going hammer and tongue along the straight, and we're looking for an opportunity to gain anything here. But Bottas and Vettel and Raikkonen, Verstappen I should say, all getting mixed up. We take the opportunity to gain 3 places there. We're up onto the podium just after 4 corners. Complete mishap between 3 drivers there, all going really slow through that corner, and we just decided to take the opportunity and get into P3. So we gained 3 places there in just 1 corner with all those guys mixing up. So we're happy with that. Straight on the first lap in P3. We've got Vettel now behind us. So Hamilton is in P2, Raikkonen in P1, so nothing changed there. Hamilton's looking to get close to Raikkonen. But yeah, delighted with that. P3 after the first lap. What can it be from here? It's looking promising now. With Vettel, we can see him looking to probably gain that position back, because I don't know what happened there with Bottas and Verstappen. It was just 3 into 1 and it wasn't working. So we're going to be in P3 at the end of lap 1 unless Vettel has something to say about it. Coming into the bus stop chicane on the end of Blanchimont, can he get a move? He's got the proximity arrow getting really closer, but not close enough to make a move down the inside or around the outside. As we end lap 1 in P3 after gaining 3 places there. But well, that's a great start for us. But what about the replay? We'll have a look in just a second at what happened on the replay. Vettel getting closer to us there. So you can see here it is. We go 5 lights and we see Raikkonen move away from pole position and ourselves move across to defend from Verstappen, but it's too late. Verstappen gets past us into turn 1. We get past Ricciardo into turn 1. So it's good news for us, but bad news at the same time. We're not really focused on the Force Indias and Renaults behind us. We're now focusing on the guys ahead of us, but they're really close. There's Vettel ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Bottas. They all come round the exit. Verstappen only really keeping up through slipstream because he's got the slower Renault engine. But that is the way it is. And look at it, how close Verstappen gets to him. Bottas is looking for a way past as well. Vettel goes to the inside to defend. Bottas goes to the outside. And it's just a complete mishap between... I don't know what happens. I don't even know why Vettel was going slow either. It just seemed to be Verstappen and Bottas making the contact, but Vettel just decided to slow down as well and allow them to allow myself to get through. But coming on to lap 2 then, we got Vettel behind us. What can he do? Can he make a move onto the next corner down the Kemmel Straight? Is he likely? He's really close to us now. Is he likely to get down the inside? He looks down the inside to make the move. We go to defend. We go to the outside when we brake. We hang it around the outside and we keep ahead of him for now, but it's only a matter of time really before Vettel gets past us. We're looking to keep ahead, but there's yellow flags behind us for some reason. I'm not really sure what was going on there. Couldn't really find out what was going on either. So we keep P3 at the moment. The front 2 getting away, but it's looking quite good at the moment because the guys behind us, it's just only Vettel behind us. We're not holding up anyone. I think it was Bottas behind Vettel, and then there's Verstappen and Ricciardo. And there's the 2 Force Indias that will always be strong around the power tracks. And in fact, we've actually pulled away from Vettel a bit there in the Huon corner. And coming around now to the last section of the track, getting a bit out of shape there on the curb. Again, these curbs are very unfriendly at times around this track, but that's the way it is. But we got Vettel just half a tenth behind us, or half a second I should say behind us. The proximity arrow getting closer again. We're just in the conversation with our engineer, so we're not really fully concentrating, and we didn't change our turbocharger coming into this race, so we're obviously a bit down on power in the straights, which is probably something I could have done better with, but that's too late for that now, because Vettel is in our proximity arrow. Hamilton's setting the faster lap, so he's looking to make a move on Raikkonen, but at the moment it's not really bothered by that. We're only bothered about keep defending from Vettel. We go a bit deep into the source. Vettel's proximity arrow getting really closer, so we now look on with Vettel now getting side by side going towards Eau Rouge, but he doesn't get alongside and isn't able to get past us into Eau Rouge. But now coming onto the Kemmel Straight, he's now looking really closer than last lap. So he's got DRS. He's going to the inside like he did last time. He's got DRS open, and he's looking to make that move down the inside, and indeed he does make the move down the inside, but we have to go off the track to defend, and that's just we're going to have to concede the position there, because we're not allowed to keep that position if we go off the track to keep it. And indeed Vettel is in front of us now, but riding on board with Vettel, he's slowing down a bit here. What is going on? Vettel looks to be in trouble like he was in Hungary, and we make contact with him because he's going so slowly, and Vettel looks to be out of the race after overtaking us. So what is going on there with Sebastian Vettel? I don't have a clue, but he's slowing down and he looks to be out of the race. Again, 2 races in a row, complete shambles there. But we come on now to the end of lap 3 with Ferrari having problems with Vettel 2 races in a row. We look to make a pit stop now, seeing where we can rejoin. We're P3. So we're looking like a podium contender at this stage, so it's looking good for us. We come into the pits now to switch onto the soft tyres. P19. We're in a good space to get some fresh laps under our belt. Hopefully, with the undercut, we're pitting before these guys. We should be fairly fresh and should be looking quite good. Almost going across the white line there on the exit of the pit lane, but managed to avoid it in the end. And we're now looking on to the get some lap time under our belt and just see if we can keep ahead of Ricciardo and that. But in front of us, Hamilton's now looking to make a move on the outside of Raikkonen, and Raikkonen locks up into the corner, and Hamilton ends up slowing down and completely halting. So he loses so much time in that battle. So Raikkonen just about keeping his lead to Hamilton, really unfairly, really, but. At least all it is. Now coming on to the end of lap 5, we've gained a lot of time with pit stops. We're up into P10 at the moment with Van Dorn, and it looks like a Williams in front of us, Sorokin. We go down the inside of Van Dorn. Now we're looking to Van Dorn is trying to go into the pits, and he forces us into the wall, and it's a complete disaster. What on earth is going on there with Stoffel Van Dorn? We're just trying to go around the last corner, and Van Dorn is trying to go into the pits, and he just drives straight into us as if we're not there. And it's a complete disaster. Completely ruined our race, and completely ruined his own race as well. But we have to come into the pits again, thanks to Stoffel Van Dorn's idiot driving there. And it's just a complete disaster. And here it is from the onboard of Stoffel Van Dorn. So we're just going down the inside of him, looking to get round the corner. He just drives into us as if we're not there. And AI coding is just a bit ludicrous on this game at times, and it's just ruined our race with just some stupid driving from Van Dorn. Just frustrating again. What could have been a podium here, it's just now gone completely up in smoke. And now moving on to the next lap, we got problems with our teammate now as well. So it's all gone horribly wrong for Sauber in these last couple of laps. With Charles Leclerc going really slow, he's now got a problem with his car. So we're now P18 and P19 at this stage. It's a complete disaster. As you can see, Leclerc going really slow. We got past him. Here's the problem with Leclerc. We're on board with him now. He's just behind a Force India, and he just goes off. He's got a problem with his left rear tyre. So we've seen 3 races in a row, cars struggling with punctures. So Pirelli need to bring some new tyres, and they need to be investigated. But Lance Stroll ends up running into the back of my teammate as he's just trying to let everyone past with his stricken car. But a complete disaster and not what anyone wanted. But now then, moving on to lap 8, we're just struggling now in P17 with going onto the curb with a similar incident in qualifying, and we're out of the race thanks to another similar incident. We're in the wall, and that is us out of the race. Here again is the incident. So we come into Eau Rouge, we hit the curb, and we just oversteer into the wall, and that is us out of the race. A complete disaster in the last couple of laps. What could have been a podium today has ended up being a retirement thanks to Stoffel Van Dorn, and we were just so far back we ended up driving just recklessly. And that is the end of the race with Raikkonen winning from Hamilton and Ricciardo third. So it's just a complete disaster, this race, and just don't really know where to go from there. Thanks to what AI, we could be in fighting against. We could have been ahead of Haas again after this race, but again, that's more points lost. We've lost so many points thanks to our own errors and other drivers getting in the way. We could really be in a fight with Force India really for 5th, but currently settling for 7th. as it is. But that is going to be the end of the episode there, guys. Hopefully we'll have some better luck in Italy. We'll see you guys soon for round 14 in Italy for the Italian Grand Prix. Thank you everyone, and hopefully you like and subscribe for more F1 career mode on this channel.